On this video, I'm going to answer Friday's questions. Friday's video started off with 10 questions. On this video, I'm going to answer those questions and I'm going to deliver thereafter today's message. First question, which I asked on Friday: what happens when you allow life to become more dreamlike? Answer: you become a lot more successful at letting go of your ego, and you tap into a higher state of being, a higher state of consciousness, a higher frequency, and effectively you let go. Number two, why do I feel so blessed that I acted in a film in 2017? Answer: because it really gave me the ability to tap into the concept of feeling and realizing a higher state of being, a higher state of consciousness, one which I prefer. And it also gave me the ability to encompass a more principled, broader range of behavioral patterns that I prefer. I realized you could actually change how you interact, you could change your behavior, it's dependent upon you. Acting in a film really gave me that edge to realize that. Number three, and if you want to know more, I'll leave in the comment section down below different clips I put out here on YouTube on this concept. What I saw whilst acting in a film as a star assistant. Number three, why is gender nothing but a costume? Because so many people's souls were another gender in another lifetime. Yet they are so deeply rooted in seeing their gender as part of their core identity, not realizing that even gender is just a costume, which is not real. What happens to a person's gender identity when they reincarnate? You could come back as the same gender that you are in now. You could come back in another gender, or you could even come back as transgender. As was seen through the 60,000 people from around the world that Dolores Cannon interviewed in a state of hypnosis. And Dolores Cannon is just one of many who talk about this concept and talk about this amazing idea. I call it just another one of the delusions of the ego, and it's also really worth remembering that this is so because it helps you become a lot better at seeing life from a deep dreamlike state. And if I may add, remember when I spoke about last week about the dream flame concept? If I may add, those people who are sexists and those people who are transphobic, who have a problem with transgender people, they're quite possibly fighting something from a previous life. What exactly? I don't know. But you don't fight something tooth and nail if it doesn't really bother you. So if you fight transgender people, or if you're a sexist and you don't like people of your opposite gender, it's very likely you're fighting something from a previous life. You may have been transgender in a previous life, and that's what you're fighting. I don't know. But I really think, and I've seen into this concept because Nakon talks about it, and many others talk about the concept, that when you fight something from a deep inner place, it's because it's something which you really have to fix here. And that's how you become fixated on it. Number five, why is our demeanor nothing more than a costume? Because it applies in this lifetime. It's even more fake than things like structure of gender and nationality. You could change your demeanor every single day and every single minute if you want. Just think about this. When you speak to your mother, it is not likely to be the same way you speak. The way you speak to your mother is not likely to be the exact same way you speak to your husband or your brother. The way you speak to your neighbor is not likely to be the same as the way you speak to your grandchild. And the way you speak to your peers at work or peers in college, co-workers at work rather, is very unlikely to be the same way you speak to your friend who you go out to have a drink with. Totally different. Then there's the element of putting people you fear on a pedestal. You talk to them in a certain way, and you effectively create your reality by projecting a reality which you do not really want. So don't put people on a pedestal because you will create a reality which you don't want. Like I've said before, putting people on a pedestal makes you feel little in their presence and you feel crushed by them. So don't do it. Number 6. What very interesting thing happened to me on Friday, which proves this point? Well, it doesn't exactly prove this point, but it sort of correlates to this point. And that is, I was talking to someone who was acting in a professional manner on Friday, because that was her position of power. And when I mentioned my YouTube channel and spirituality, which I talk about, within about 20 seconds, her entire demeanor totally changed. I literally felt like I was talking to a totally different person. When I spoke about my spirituality, she felt like she could talk about her spirituality, and she opened up on the topic, and literally it was like a different person I was talking to. It was a fascinating experience, and it was amazing. It was exciting, and it really, really helped prove my point. Number 7. What happened to Doughty and Leeora Alexandra when they walked two very spiritual YouTubers whom I follow from time to time? Especially Doughty, I follow him every single day. What happened to them when they walked down the street saying, "Life is just a dream. Life is just a dream"? Most people, this is the answer, most people did not even notice that. One person was on his phone cursing somebody, a third party, and they got all sucked into it, whilst another person was very, very focused on finding their steps and getting from A to B. And another person was on their phone worrying about who had the latest insights on Instagram. And so effectively, they created that dreamlike reality, and they really, really played it out so well. Why is it so amazing to incorporate in your life the belief that life is just a dream? Because it gets you to accomplish so much. Like the amazing commented here yesterday on how he finished really quickly a project he had been working on for years. Thank you to your comment. I won't say your name because I don't know if you want me to mention your name. I'm sort of careful with that. But I was really inspired when you mentioned how you totally changed and improved and accomplished your goal in a very short time once you got yourself into a dreamlike state. Thank you for sharing that. That was great. What happens when you become more playful and allow your mind to flow freely? Answer: you don't take everything in a heavy way. You act from a higher vibration with a higher frequency, a frequency which you desire, and a frequency which suits your higher self. You're able to float naturally without hanging on to some old ideas which may have kept you back for years. Whenever you act from a place of lack, things take much, much longer to accomplish, and your life reflects it. Change that, and you will see things happen in some unbelievable ways, as the amazing commentator yesterday mentioned. And number 10, if you adopt this approach, which is something I've been doing lately, do I still fall back into the clutch of the ego and back into thinking that life is real again and heavy? Answer: of course that happens. We all have an ego, and that ego resurfaces from time to time. I wouldn't be human if it didn't. But I have definitely felt a surge in my reality in the past few months. My ego definitely knows that life is a lot more dreamlike. And my ego definitely knows that it's not the main driver any longer. If you look back at my videos over the last few months, you will notice the massive change that happened inside of me, especially when I talk about my spirituality on the 10 episodes which I put out on my spiritual journey. That's the main focus of today's video, answering the 10 questions I asked yesterday. Now I want to follow on and broaden and expand on a concept which I mentioned briefly last week, and that is that it's impossible to love yourself and judge somebody else at the same time. It's just not possible. It's like looking for a key whilst the lights are off in the dark. You won't find your key. It's impossible. Turn on the light and you'll find the key. Maybe that's not the greatest examples, But another example would be like getting into a car and expecting to get from A, point A to point B without gas, without petrol, as they call it here in the UK. It won't happen. You cannot, it's not possible to love yourself and judge somebody else. You can't do it. It doesn't exist. You can't judge somebody else and love yourself at the same time. Also worth mentioning, and that is that when you put other people on a pedestal, they feel it. They feel it. Remember, you cannot hide it. We think that we could hide our reality from others. It's not so. Put others on a pedestal, they will feel it. Not worth it. And I also learned in life that there is no such concept. There's no such concept of believing that you could go through life with the I'm a victim mentality. There's no such concept. It won't get you far. Because people sense it, people pick up on it, and you're not treated the way you would have been treated had you just been a regular person, an equal. You may have been hurt in the past. You may really be a victim. Change from within. Change from the deepest place from within you. Every single day I do amazing meditations. And what I do in those meditations, what I do mostly, is I think about how to surrender to the universe and to God, mainly to surrender to God, and how to entirely surrender to my higher self, to the higher reality within me. I also focus a very, very lot on the concept of loving myself and the world around me, and not allowing myself to keep the past as something which I can't let go of. In other words, I forgive people from the past, I forgive others, and as a result, I get to a higher place, a better place. I've left victimhood, I've left the school of victimhood, and if I could, I'd put on my Facebook page, left the school of my Facebook profile, I've left the school of victimhood, never to return there ever again. I've got my diploma. In other words, don't live your life telling people that you're a victim. It doesn't work. It does not work. You will not get very far. That's something which I really know and I've seen myself. I also wanted to point out that, you know something? It's really, really worth bearing in mind that if you had a toxic person in your life, right? They were toxic. And you try to get back into a relationship with that toxic person, it's going to be not exactly because it's not the exact same thing, but it'll be very much like pressing down on your toothpaste tube, getting out the toothpaste, and then trying to put the toothpaste back into the toothpaste tube. That's what it's like when you try to get back in touch with toxic people who manipulated you in the past. It doesn't work. So let it go and allow yourself to enjoy life and get into that dreamlike state and become more playful and activate and materialize and manifest your dreams. That's today's video. If you enjoyed today's video, press the like button. My name is Jessica Madden, and on my channel here on YouTube, I help people raise their awareness and become very successful. I share great tips and amazing lessons I picked up throughout my life, and I share great tips and amazing lessons I pick up every single day. Reminding you again that if you are the 100th subscriber, I think it's on this side. I sometimes get confused with it, my apologies. If you're the 100th subscriber and you manifest your dream to win that gift from me, which the 100 subscribers are going to get, you will receive from me a free gift which I'll ship out to you free wherever you are in the world. Press the bell notification next to the subscribe button because that allows you to see my videos right away when they come out. It's great. Please feel free to share this video with your friends, family, peers, and acquaintances, and even with your grandmother if you want to. Why not? Feel free to share away. And leave any comments or thoughts you have in the comment section down below. Thanks tons to the amazing commenters who left amazing comments in the last few days and weeks. I'm really grateful. I will make it a point to mention your comment because I think it's very, very important because I learned so much from my commenters and I really, really appreciate it and love it. Thank you for your great comments and great input and helping me grow on this amazing journey of independence and spiritual elevation. I love you so much. I'm sending you out high vibes, high frequency. I love you so much, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. I love you.